Typically, when we see our furry friends, the rabbit and the squirrel, we think cute and cuddly. But what if I told you something's different going on lately? And you may want to think Frankenstein and zombie. Let's talk about what's going on with our furry friends. Now, have you ever heard of a jackalope? A jackalope is a fictional animal that is characterized by a rabbit with horns and tentacles. Well, fiction is becoming reality because reports have shown that rabbits with growths that resemble tentacles and horns have been spotted in Colorado and other states. But wildlife experts say humans shouldn't be alarmed. Now, the growths are an infection called the Shoup papilloma virus, named after Richard E. Shoup, who discovered this virus in 1933. The disease is known as cottontail rabbit papillomavirus. And the internet has now dubbed these rabbits Frankenstein rabbits. Now, despite the rabbit's bizarre looking horns, experts say the condition is harmless. And these horn-like growths are wart-like tumors caused by the Shoup papilloma virus. And generally, the growths don't trouble the cottontail unless they form near their mouths, which makes it difficult for them to eat or drink. Now, those growths are made from keratin, a protein in hair and nails, and it develops when the rabbit's immune system can't fight off the Shoup papillomavirus. And the horns or warts can last for several months, sometimes even a year or longer. And cottontails' lives usually don't span longer than about 2 years, so that's a little rough. Now, this virus affects the rabbit's skin, and it grows these warts, and they can be up to 7 to 9 inches tall at their shoulders and weigh up to 2 to 4.5 pounds. Now, scientists have known about this virus in the Midwest since the early 1930s, but just recently, it's been detected in rabbits in a number of states, including Colorado, Iowa, Kansas, Minnesota, Nebraska, and Washington. The virus is spread when a rabbit is bitten by an infected insect, such as a flea or tick, or even a mosquito. And after feeding on an infected wild rabbit, the insects spread the virus to other rabbits. And the virus can also be spread with contact between rabbits through their bodily fluid, such as feces, saliva, and urine. Now, the papillomavirus can affect a wide range of species, including fish, reptiles, birds, and humans. But the majority are specific to certain species. And the cottontail rabbit papillomavirus is specific to rabbits and cannot infect other species. But the virus can be transmitted to domestic rabbits, especially those housed outdoors where they may come in contact with wild rabbits or the infected biting insects. That's pretty sad. That has to be rough on the rabbits. But it's not just the rabbits that are having some issues with their health. Let's talk about the zombie squirrels. Now, if the term zombie squirrel seems a little bit nuts to you, that is the term that they're using to describe the squirrels that they're seeing in the US and Canada. People have reported, as you can see, strange and unusual type lumps on the squirrel that are even sometimes bleeding. The lumps can make them look like some of the characters on The Walking Dead, but the difference is these squirrels are not undead. They're very much alive, and they're suffering from what's called squirrel fibromatosis. The disease is called fibromatosis because the lumps are tumors called fibromas. And a fibroma is a non-cancerous tumor consisting of fibrous connective tissue. Now, the impact of this disease depends on where the lumps are on the squirrel's body. Typically, they're just on the squirrel's skin, which usually causes no major consequences. However, things can get a little bit squirrely if these tumors impinge on the vital structures. For instance, if the tumors are in or near the squirrel's eyes, it can affect its vision. But things can get worse if the tumors go inside the body and spread to like the lungs, kidneys, or lymph nodes. In the body, it can cause obstruction to different passages, organ malfunction, or even death. Not only that, but the lumps can get infected by microorganisms outside of the actual microorganism that caused the disease in the first place. Now, this disease isn't new. Squirrels have been spotted with this ailment since about 2023. Now, you may have seen that this has gone viral with the squirrels and their disease, but there's something else viral about this condition, and it's the cause. The infection is caused by the Lepropox virus, and that's what leads to the tumors. This virus belongs to the pox group of viruses. That's why it's often referred to as squirrel pox. Squirrels get infected by this disease by getting bitten by mosquitoes or fleas that carry this virus. And an infected squirrel can pass this along to another squirrel simply by direct physical contact. Now, tumors typically most develop where the transmission of the virus occurred, whether it's an insect bite or if it was squirrel-to-squirrel contact. Unfortunately, there is no treatment for this disease. However, when the disease is not severe, the lesions can end up regressing over time, and the squirrels can ultimately fully recover. Now, squirrels can spread the Lepropox virus to, as I said, other squirrels, but also to rabbits or woodchucks. Now, in nature, it's only been documented that squirrels have only infected other squirrels. However, squirrels have infected rabbits and woodchucks in lab testing. Now, humans don't seem to be at risk to get infected. However, there is a small possibility that you could get infected if you were to eat a squirrel that had the infectious disease. There could be a possibility of the virus mutating within you someday and causing you to experience symptoms of this disease. So, if you happen to come across a zombie squirrel, there's no need to run from it like you would a real zombie. Wow, wildlife is really getting wild. With Frankenstein rabbits and zombie squirrels, I've even heard rumors of some radioactive wasps. Leave me a comment and let me know. Have you seen any of these anomalies with these animals in wildlife? Thanks for watching today. Don't forget to like and share.